Hello and welcome to Physical Therapy, a movie podcast inspired by the world of physical media and beyond. My name is Kurt.
My name is Sam.
Kimberly is not here this week. Sam, you and I are going to talk Arrow Video's recent 4K release of the 1986 Stallone vehicle, Cobra.
Hell yeah, brother.
But first, let's check in. What's new, Sam? What have you watched?
Okay, so I took it upon myself to do some research. We've talked about this on a very early episode, but I sat down for 2003's Hollywood Homicide.
Wow. On Blu-ray?
On Blu-ray.
This is Josh Hartnett and
Harrison Ford.
Okay.
And I bought this because an IndieWire article came out saying something along the lines of, move over, French Connection, Hollywood Homicide actually has the best car chase in cinema.
Who directed it?
Ron Shelton.
Who's good? He did Bull Durham and White Men Can't Jump.
Hollywood Homicide fucking sucks, dude.
Okay.
And fuck IndieWire for fucking writing that article.
What's the premise?
It's two Hollywood homicide detectives who get put on a case of a nightclub shooting, and they both moonlight in other career paths. Harrison Ford is also a realtor, and Josh Hartnett is trying to be an actor and yoga teacher.
Incredible.
The movie's like fairly homophobic.
Oh no.
Very dumb. The script is so bad. It thinks it's way funnier than it actually is. And the car chase sucks. The car chase fucking sucks, dude. And it takes place in the last like 20 minutes. I'm waiting the whole movie to watch this stupid car chase. It's just bad. And it like goes from a car chase to a foot chase to a car chase again. But none of it is interesting or fun enough that it kept my attention.
How's Josh?
I mean, you love your boy. He's good. The Harrison Ford, I love Harrison Ford, and he is pretty funny in this, but the movie thinks he's way funnier, and it is way funnier than what we're seeing on screen. I did a little research after this article was written just to see, I was like, am I in the wrong here? And the internet seems to believe that the guy who wrote this article was like,
Ron Shelton?
No. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Like, he was really, like, kind of edgelording everybody.
Okay. It's
like a hated movie and is completely forgotten about for good reason.
Can I have your Blu-ray?
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now. It's a
Yes.
It's a 2-pack of that and Hudson Hawk with Bruce Willis.
What's up with Hudson Hawk?
God, it's bad. I've never seen the whole thing. I've just seen clips of it on TV, but woof, dude.
Wow, well, you took one for the team, Sam.
Yeah, I'm doing the research over here, man. I've been doing all right with getting some titles out of the shame pile. Have you hit anything recently worth highlighting?
I picked up Phoenician Scheme, not from the shame pile, but I bought it and watched it in the same day, which always feels good.
Oh, that's fun.
I really liked that. Wes Anderson's most recent movie with Benicio del Toro, Michael Cera, and I believe Cate Blanchett's daughter is like the female lead in it.
Oh, interesting. I don't know if I knew that.
She's fantastic. It's fantastic. I really like this one. It looks great on 4K. It's got a very interesting aspect ratio. It's like 1:4:7 or 1:5 something. It's like wider than an old film, like a Academy ratio, but it's more narrow than like 1:6:6. It was interesting. I'd never seen a movie like that before. I'm not sure if it's like rooted in a real aspect ratio or if it's just something they landed on, I'm not sure. Great cast. I'm excited to watch it again. The plot is like slightly hard to follow, at least the first time for my brain.
Okay.
There's a lot going on with like Benicio del Toro's sort of overall plans, the specifics of like his business. And, it's a Wes Anderson movie, so there's 30 things to like focus in on at the same time visually.
Sure.
It's very dense, very rich. Michael Cera steals the show. So I recommend it, Sam.
Yeah, he's, Wes Anderson and I don't always get along, but I was more intrigued with this one than I have been with some of his more recent movies, and I never ended up seeing it, but I have heard very good things about this one.
I believe it's his first film that isn't shot by Robert Yemen, which is really fascinating. I don't know why. Bruno Delbonnel, I believe is how you say his name, shot this film, who did The Tragedy of Macbeth and Inside Llewyn Davis.
Oh.
And I believe Amelie. It looks fantastic. So I was glad to finally see that. One film, Sam, that you and I both watched recently, which we were going to do an episode on and then the timing didn't really work out, was a recent 4K release from Vinegar Syndrome, 1998's Dirty Work, starring Norm Macdonald, directed by Bob Saget, and featuring Chris Farley.
Had you seen this movie?
Absolutely. I grew up with it.
I think I saw it in theaters.
Yeah, probably same.
I didn't remember anything about it.
This is a movie about two sort of best friends, one of whom's father is dying and needs a operation. And in order to get him to the front of the line, they have to basically pay off his doctor. And his doctor's played by Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Who is a compulsive gambler in like deep with bookies. And so he's like, if you guys can get me $50,000 by next week or whatever, I will make sure your father gets the operation he needs. To make this money, Mitch Weaver is Norm Macdonald's character, and his best friend Sam, who's played by Artie Lang, they start a business to basically do people's dirty work and enact revenge for people.
I gotta say, this movie has not aged gracefully.
Yeah, that's fair.
I watched the dirtier cut because there's two cuts on this, and I watched the dirtier one because the original theatrical cut is rated PG-13, and I wanted to see how much dirtier it was, and I gotta say, it's fairly dirty.
Really?
Yeah, there's some like way off-color jokes in it.
Okay.
And some of the jokes that are hinted at in the theatrical cut are extended in this and go the extra mile. It's a little rough.
Copy. Okay.
There are some great moments in this movie, though.
Absolutely. Norm Macdonald is, he's so good. He's so funny. He's so specific. His sense of humor.
Chris Farley's incredible in this movie.
His last film, right?
Yeah. Adam Sandler makes a quick appearance as Satan, and at one point he's like, "You eat the pig and then you burn." There's a recurring bit where Norm Macdonald gets like thrown out of businesses or houses, and it's always just his body like flying through a plate glass window and hitting the concrete, and it's incredible.
Yeah, I had fun revisiting it. I hear you on, certainly there are things about it that haven't aged, and I'm sure the dirtier, the worse that is, but it's a great showcase for Norm Macdonald and like one of the, if not the only kind of lead performance we ever really got from him in a movie. And, he was so special, so funny.
He's in this other movie called Screwed, and I think it's him, Dave Chappelle, and Danny DeVito.
Really?
That also I remember watching on VHS a lot as a kid, and I would love a 4K of that.
That's cool. Are you going to hang on to your Vinegar Syndrome?
Oh, without a doubt. It's one of their bigger boxes. It's a really nice addition. While not my favorite movie in the world, will definitely be something that is fun to return to from time to time.
Maybe watch the PG-13 cut.
Yeah, the word whore is uttered like 15,000 times in this movie. It's a little rough.
Yeah, in the PG-13 cut too. Anything else?
I have to highlight, this is a movie I saw in theaters. It's not very old. It came out last year, but the 4K edition of the animated Transformers 1 movie looks incredible. This is a movie that I think a lot of people slept on. It's way smarter. The voice cast is incredible. I highly recommend this movie if you are a Transformers fan or you just like really beautifully animated, cool looking movies.
What's the tone of it? Is it like for adults, children, both?
It's PG, and I think it really fits both. There are jokes that if you're familiar with the original Transformers series or kind of the culture around it, as adults you will get and find funny. And there are cool set pieces that if you're a little kid, you're going to be into as well. Keegan-Michael Key is in it, and he's kind of like the, less serious Transformer who I can see a lot of kids really latching onto and finding very funny. But I think that the way he is written in the movie works really well for the tone.
What's the animation style like?
It's kind of glossy computer animation, but the whole movie takes place on Cybertron, which is their home planet, the Transformers' home planet. So it's this completely imagined world that just looks phenomenal, and the colors are super bright, and they're harvesting energon, which are these beautifully blue glowing cubes. It's really cool to look at.
And Chris Hemsworth is Optimus Prime?
Yeah. So it basically follows Optimus Prime and Megatron before they are both Optimus Prime and Megatron.
Got it.
So it is their origin story and kind of the origin of the everlasting war that is happening on Cybertron. It doesn't really look like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I would say that's closer to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but it is very thematically similar.
When am I getting a Beast Wars movie, Sam?
Dude, they did that live action one, which kind of sucked, but Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
Oh yeah, no, that's not Beast Wars. I mean, I know it probably is sort of, but no. I want a Beast Wars movie.
In an animated Beast Wars movie, sign me up. Middle seat in an IMAX theater, I am there.
I used to watch Beast Wars every day before school.
Eating cereal, just waiting for the bus.
Toaster strudel, dog.
What was your flavor?
Strawberry.
Well, not a brown sugar cinnamon?
Of a toaster strudel?
Yeah.
No, I never had that.
Whoa.
I liked strawberry toaster strudels and s'mores Pop-Tarts.
I was brown sugar cinnamon on both.
Announcements?
Yeah. What do you got? What's looking good to you?
John Woo's Hard Boiled is coming from Shout Factory on November 4th.
This is a huge release.
Yeah.
People have been asking for this movie for a very long time.
A 4K of this. This stars Chow Yun-Fat. I am stoked. I've never seen this, and I hear it's so good. There's like a big box version of this that I've never really seen an equivalent from Shout of. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is part of their new line, the Hong Kong Cinema Classics. And I think they're really pulling out all stops for this.
There's another one in the same kind of style called A Better Tomorrow Trilogy. Are you familiar with this one?
I'm not at all, but people really like this as well.
Shout Factory's also releasing Snowden, Sam. I know you're excited for another Oliver Stone title on your shelf. And Spotlight on 4K.
I'd like to rewatch Spotlight.
Yeah, Spotlight's good. I don't need to own Spotlight.
No, neither do I.
Respect. And they're doing a 4K of Beastmaster, The Beastmaster. Sam, are we doing this as an episode someday?
I think we should. We got to get Dagan back on for it. I know that's a favorite of his.
You and I both have the Vinegar Syndrome version of this.
Yeah. Dude, the tagline to this movie, born with the courage of an eagle, the strength of a black tiger, and the power of a god. Get out of town.
I'm in.
I'm watching this tonight.
Disney, Sam.
Yeah, these are big.
Has brought to 4K both the original Tron and Tron Legacy from 2010, which I believe is Joseph Kosinski's first film.
Yep.
Director of Top Gun Maverick.
And this year's F1.
Yeah. And I really want to get these. I believe they're kind of hard to find at the moment. They just came out. Or they're come out this week. They come out this week. They both got really good reviews, especially the first one, the original. And, you know, I've probably said it 100 times in the show, but HDR, when it comes to neon looking lighting in a movie, like where you can see the source, which is basically the entire Tron Legacy like aesthetic, looks so good. Mm-hmm. And I can imagine that both of these are just like phenomenal to watch.
I believe I saw Tron in 70 millimeter at the Hollywood at one point, and it just blew me away.
The original?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, Sam, Imprint, who I love, but Imprint who is just, it's like, it's too expensive. I can't.
Yeah, I know.
They're imports. They release crazy boxes that are great, but I just can't. But they're doing a 4K of a Ridley Scott film that I've never seen that I want to see so bad called G.I. Jane.
Yeah.
Starring the Queen, Demi Moore.
And Viggo Mortensen.
Oh, shit.
I have seen parts of this movie on cable TV, and that is the only time I've ever seen any of it.
I was at Barnes & Noble yesterday buying Poseidon, Sam, while it was still half off. Thanks to you. And they had a copy of G.I. Jane on Blu-ray, $14.99, and it was half off. So it was like $7.50. And I looked at it, but I knew that Imprint had just done it. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to be a good boy.
Kino seems to be circling this one, is my guess.
Strike, Kino. Strike it.
We got a North American release for U571 coming out. I think both you and I have the Studio Canal version of the 4K.
You're damn right.
Which I won't be double dipping, but this movie fucking rules.
There's going to be a 4K steelbook of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Sign me up for that. Jack Nicholson, absolute classic from 1975.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Vestron Video has announced a movie.
Oh, baby.
That I don't know at all, but I think you do kind of know it. It is called Hider in the House.
Yeah.
What is up with Hider in the House?
So our dear friend Drew, he was on our show recently talking about how he has built like a little micro cinema in his apartment, similar to what Kim and I have. And he and his wife had Kim and I over to watch a movie in their screening room. And Drew chose a VHS of Hider in the House. And this is a film starring Gary Busey in which he plays a disturbed man who moves into the attic of a house that's for sale and basically like builds a wall to partition off a small space that no one knows is there. And he's living in this house in the attic when a family moves in. and he begins to sort of obsess over them and ultimately terrorize them. And it's so good.
Hell yeah. I can't wait. I believe with Vestron video releases, you can only get them off the Lionsgate Limited site, but I will be ordering this.
What's that about? What's the affiliation with Lionsgate and Vestron?
I think Lionsgate just owns the Vestron banner at this point. And so like with some of their other Lionsgate Limited releases, they're just an exclusive to their shop.
This, we should say, was never released theatrically. It was a straight to video.
And I think has kind of like existed for a majority of its life on poor VHS rips.
Yeah, it seems like it's VHS Laserdisc only. And according to Drew, was kind of like a prize to find. He was very excited about it. And I can see why. If you've never seen the poster for this movie, please Google it.
It is truly one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Studio Canal has a really beautiful 3-pack box set 4K of Agatha Christie films. This includes Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile, and The Mirror Cracked. These are all like 70s, early 80s titles. Oh, and it looks like Evil Under the Sun as well. I guess it's a 4-pack. I have the Kino of Murder on the Orient Express.
I'm familiar with these movies culturally, but I've never seen any of them.
I'd be curious what Kim thinks, because she's a big fan of Agatha Christie as a writer. I'm not sure how many of these she's seen. Maybe a Christmas present, Kim. She's not listening. What else, Sam?
I think the last one that I want to highlight, a very well-known anime is getting a 4K UHD, I believe this year. It's called Perfect Blue, which is a very kind of disturbing, scary movie about a pop singer giving up her career to become an actress, and she kind of starts going insane as she's getting stalked by an obsessed fan.
What year did you say it's from?
1997.
Damn, that sounds awesome.
It's very good. Darren Aronofsky lifted some images from Perfect Blue and recreates them in Requiem for a Dream.
All right, Sam, confessions. You got anything?
I've been very good this week. I've been a little under the weather, so I've just kept my head down. I'm just trying to knock out as many movies from the shame pile as I possibly can. But I will be buying Tron Legacy, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem the moment this episode is over.
Good for you, Sam.
What about you?
Well, I mentioned Poseidon. Barnes & Noble is, I believe, wrapping up an Arrow Video half-off sale as we speak. So I got in there and got that before it was too late. I also had a $5 coupon that I didn't know about, so I walked out with that for pretty cheap. Felt great.
Well done, brother.
And then, like a fool, I went on eBay to get a slip-sleeved version of the Tom Cruise film Jack Reacher.
Have you seen Jack Reacher, dude?
I have. I don't know why I bought it. I believe I bought it because I have been reading Werner Herzog's memoir, and Werner Herzog plays the villain in this movie, which is just awesome.
Dude, shout out to my parents. The last time my mom and stepdad came out to Portland, we rented a house on the Oregon coast for a couple nights. And 2 nights in a row, we watched Jack Reacher 1 and 2.
What's up with Jack Reacher 2?
It is real bad. Real bad.
The first one is watchable, though.
Yeah. It's not good, but it's watchable.
Is that it? That might be it. Oh, that's not it.
Oh, what else did you get?
I caved and put in a pre-order for the TMNT box set from Arrow.
Okay. God damn it. You were holding out so strong, and I was holding out because you were holding out.
I wasn't really holding out. I was just delaying it. And then, because I knew I wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got freaked out because I started seeing closed pre-orders on Orbit for other titles. And I didn't want to live in a world where I missed it.
Sure. I hear that.
But what was great about that, Sam, is I went on Diabolic for that one and forgot that I had a credit for something that I guess I had canceled, a pre-order I had canceled, probably because I accidentally ordered 4 other versions of it from another website. And their policy is that if you cancel a pre-order, they give you store credit.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that sitting there, and it really softened the blow.
Nice. Much like your Barnes & Noble coupon.
I just got coupons falling out of the sky.
Okay, should we get into it?
Let's do it. Stallone, Cobra, here we come.
Okay, Kurt, Cobra, my man, Sylvester Stallone.
Oh my God, Sam.
Had you seen this movie?
I had not seen this movie, no.
Okay. Did you know anything about this movie?
I believe that I listened to the Rewatchables episode about this movie whenever that was, years and years ago.
Sure.
And I had never heard of it. And I kind of put it on out of curiosity and left it on because of the way it was being described. I was like, I'm never watching this movie. Who cares? And here we are.
Here we are, dude. Okay, so as we mentioned before, this movie comes out in 1986. It's starring Sylvester Stallone and Brigitte Nielsen. Stallone at this point is the biggest actor in the world. His 1985 was Rambo First Blood Part 2 and Rocky 4. He is a massive success at this point. So his ego is like through the roof, and he decides he wants to adapt this book into Cobra, which also apparently came out of the original Beverly Hills Cop script, which Stallone had reworked because he was originally cast in Beverly Hills Cop, and he had reworked it into such a violent nightmare action movie that people were like, yo, this isn't funny, we're not making this movie. And so he goes on to make Cobra, which is a insanely over the top 87 minutes of just violence and horror.
Propaganda, big time.
Huge propaganda. So Stallone plays Marion Cobretti, who is like a rough and tumble cop who does things his way and he doesn't care about the consequences.
His tagline is, crime is a disease, I'm the cure.
Yep. So this movie opens up with kind of an all too true setting of a madman wielding a gun in a grocery store and holding some people hostage.
Yep.
And Cobra shows up.
Well, an entire SWAT team shows up.
Yeah. And then you hear a cop go, call in the Cobra. And Detective Monty is played by Andrew Robinson, who you might know as Larry from Hellraiser. Also the guy who says Jesus wept at the very end, who I've actually met. I served him soup one time. And his lovely wife was like, oh my God, is that a baby pinhead tattoo on your arm? And I thought it was about to be like a big conversation. I said, yeah. And she goes, my husband's in that movie. He's right here. And I turn over and it's Andrew Robinson. I'm like, oh my God, you're the Jesus wept guy. Super nice guy. We had a long conversation. I wish I would have remembered that he was in fucking Cobra.
Wow. Claim to fame, Sam.
Yeah, there we go. So they call in the Cobra. Sylvester Stallone arrives in a like 50s hot rod.
Yeah, it looks like a car out of like Batman the Animated Series.
And the license plate is awesome 50. So Stallone busts into this grocery store. It is like crazy amounts of product placement. Coors, Pepsi, Lay's chips. Also, I got to say, at one point, the madman shoots a shotgun at a rack of potato chips and it explodes, and it looks like the most fun thing in the world. I want to do that so badly.
Stallone literally drinks a Coors while he's in the middle of a shootout.
A warm Coors, an unrefrigerated Coors Banquet. So Stallone puts a stop to this guy, and the whole time this madman is kind of talking about how he's part of the new world and the new world is going to take over and you guys don't know what's coming for you. The movie then cuts to like a bunch of people.
We've seen that already. That's in the opening titles.
Oh, okay. So in the opening titles, oh yeah, actually this movie starts out with Stallone in like the most gravelly of voices reading crime statistics for America.
He's like, every 5 seconds in America, someone is robbed. While you're seeing a huge warehouse, like all lit with red, and people are gathered around.
I think in an empty pool, like in a drained pool.
Well, everyone's holding 2 axes and hitting them together over their heads in unison, like some sort of church ceremony. It's a cult.
Yeah, it's a serial killer cult. We'll do our best to try to describe anything in this movie. There is absolutely no rhyme or reason for any of these people to be doing anything that they're doing. We get no backstory. We learn nothing about them.
It's basically like there's a serial killer running around LA, and he's called the Night Slasher. Bodies keep turning up, but the Night Slasher, it is a person, but he is the leader of a cult of axe wielding.
Yeah, so he's like, I guess he is one person and multiple people at the same time. He is the Night Slasher, but he's leading this group who's also killing all these people.
Brigitte Nielsen plays a model who is introduced in the greatest sequence of this movie, which is like a music video cross-cutting between Stallone, like walking around the underbelly of LA, interrogating, people about the Night Stalker. It's silent, though. You're not hearing anything. There's music playing.
I have it in my notes. At 23 minutes, this movie turns into a music video in which Brigitte Nielsen models with a bunch of robots.
Yeah, she models with robots on a white cyc in all these different outfits. But these robots they look like, what's the reference? It's like a 1950s, like...
They look like a bunch of like scrap metal kind of like art installation robots that somebody welded that kind of look like the Dalek like robot from Doctor Who.
Yeah. On her way home from this photo shoot?
No, it's on her way to it.
Okay. She's driving underneath a bridge in downtown LA and passes by these Night Stalker cult figures as they are like dumping a body basically into a van.
And she sees the face of the lead Night Stalker. Mm-hmm. He decides that he has to kill this woman.
Yep. And she basically becomes Stallone's first real lead in solving who is the Night Stalker.
We should also point out that at this point in the movie, Stallone has gone to his apartment, which is like in Venice on the beach. It's broad daylight. He walks into his apartment, turns on the light, which lights up nothing in his apartment, goes into the freezer, in which he gets a box of pizza and a carton of eggs. He opens the box of pizza. There is one slice in there. Again, this is out of a freezer. And he takes a pair of scissors and cuts the slice of pizza in half and eats one tiny part of it. And then opens the carton of eggs, which is just gun cleaning parts, and proceeds to clean his Cobra stamped pistol. He's just like a man who only speaks in one-liners and has all of the quirks that a actor might give a character.
Did we say he wrote this movie?
Yeah, he wrote this movie, all right. And the rumor is that he actually directed it. The director is George P. Cosmatos, who also directed Tombstone and Rambo First Blood Part 2, whose son directed Mandy and Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but the rumor is also that Kurt Russell directed Tombstone.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if George is just kind of a body who was on set or what, but here's Cobra.
There's also a sequence where he's right before he gets to his apartment where he's in Santa Monica. He pulls up this 1950s whatever car he's driving to park it on the curb. And there's like people in a car that are parked legally and fine. And like they have been there already. It's their parking spot. And Stallone proceeds to like wedge his way into his own parking spot by pushing their car forward. And then the guy gets out and he's like, what the fuck, dude? And Stallone, he hits him, right? And then he tears his shirt.
He pushes him. He doesn't hit him. He like pushes him and then he pulls him back and tears his shirt for no reason at all.
This guy was just parked fine and like it's just so aggressive and mean to this guy. And he tears his shirt in a way that completely reveals his lavalier microphone.
Yes.
Like wire going down like to his pants. Like you see like a foot and a half of this guy's mic and you see that it's taped to his chest in a way that's like, there's no way that this wasn't improvised, like that Stallone just didn't rip this guy's shirt in the middle of the take, because if they were planning to do that, they would not put a guy's microphone right there. It's insane. It's one of the most insane things I've ever seen in a movie.
But the more insane part about it is they cut back to the same shot again.
Yeah.
You have like 4 times to be able to see this microphone.
Yeah.
It is so baffling and weird. Another thing we should point out about this movie is that the original cut of this movie was like 2 hours plus. It was coming out against another movie that Stallone was worried they were going to get killed box office wise. And so they went back in and cut it down under 90 minutes so it could have more showings during a day, so box office numbers would look higher.
According to the Blu-ray too, they also, I think, got an X rating on that first cut because it was so violent.
Yeah.
Anyway, the plot. we keep calling it the Night Stalker. It's the Night Slasher. So the Night Slasher is now after Brigitte Nielsen,
who's playing Ingrid. And he shows up in the parking garage of the modeling gig that she is just finishing up. She's just danced with the robots. The photographer and her are walking down to the parking garage.
The photographer who's
fucking creep, dude.
Well, he's the guy from Succession, right? And like Burn After Reading, right?
Oh, like the like CIA guy?
Yeah.
Who's like, what did we learn from this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
David, I don't know how you spell his last or say his last name. Rasche. He's a fucking legend.
He's a creep in this movie. The entire conversation in the elevator and through the parking garage is him trying to convince her to sleep with him for her career.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not doing this for me.
Yeah, no, this is just good business. All of a sudden, 4 of the Night Slashers show up and start to shoot at Ingrid and the photographer, killing him almost immediately. Ingrid, when she gets to her car, realizes that she's left her keys and her bag upstairs. A security guard finds her bag upstairs and starts taking the elevator down as she's running towards the elevator door to not get murdered by the Night Slashers. The elevator doors open and it's the security guard, and all of a sudden the Night Slashers drive
oh my god
a entire van into the elevator
and run over the security guard.
Yeah, like smashing the security guard like into the closed elevator doors. It is insane, dude.
Like, I'm not convinced that guy's not dead
in real life.
Yeah. Like, I watched it and I was like, what? Like, at first I was like, I cheered, and then I felt concerned. You know, it looked like they ran this guy over. It was an amazing stunt.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's okay.
Shout out to that guy. So some other cops show up and the Night Slashers have to run away. But the head Night Slasher is dead set on murdering Ingrid, not only because she's seen his face, but because he's also like obsessed with her now. So Cobra gets put on Ingrid duty, mainly because she's the only one who has any lead on who might be doing these killings. And the movie becomes a pretty like traditional action movie at this point. There are some it's a weird blend throughout this entire thing of like a horror movie, like a serial killer stalker movie, and an action movie at the same time.
Which is why it's awesome.
Yes, without a doubt. It's really gritty. It's darkly lit. They pretty quickly realize they have to leave the city to get to a safe house, but the Night Slashers might have a cop or two on the take.
Yeah, we recognize one of the cops that's sent with Stallone out of town to protect Ingrid. We know her face. We've seen her. She is part of the Night Slasher cult. We've seen her under the bridge downtown. She's one of the faces. So we know there's a mole in the operation.
We should also say that the lead Night Slasher is played by a guy named Brian Thompson, who is doing just so much with his insane looking face in this movie. So it quickly becomes a road movie, and we go into our second music video montage at about 53 minutes with Stallone driving Ingrid out of the city and through Northern California to a safe house. Another really synthy and electric drum 80s song is playing. And they get to a motel where the dirty cop calls in all of the Night Slashers to come take out Cobretti and Ingrid. And then, for the last 25 minutes of this movie, it becomes one of the most bonkers shootout set pieces I've ever seen.
Motorcycles galore.
Car chases, motorcycles, grenades, shotguns, pistols, machine guns, an orange orchard at one point. And then it all culminates into basically like the factory at the end of Terminator 2.
Yep.
Where there's fire spitting out and there's steam and there's pipes and there's giant chains and hooks. Just everything you can picture. And the lead Night Stalker goes...
It's him versus Stallone at this point.
And he goes, I want your eyes, pig. I want them. He goes, come to hell with me, pig. I want your eyes, pig. Oh, we should also mention that Stallone has had a match as a toothpick in his mouth the entire time.
The entire movie.
The entire movie. And he finally lights the match like on the handle of his gun after he's thrown gasoline all over one of the henchmen. And he says, "You have the right to remain silent," and then throws the match at him, lighting him on fire.
So this is like tough on crime Ronald Reagan era. And there's a BTS making of on this Blu-ray. Did you check that out, Sam?
No.
It's like a vintage one.
I listened to one of the visual essays and some of a commentary.
In this making of piece, they interview Stallone at the time. And he's talking about like how he wants to not spell out any like real worldview one way or the other, you know, like try not to make it too obvious for people. But he says something where he's like, let's just say that I believe that the animals have taken over the jungle.
Oh, God. It is ridiculous and a fun watch, but the politics of this movie fucking suck, dude.
Yeah.
There's like a scene in which Ingrid and Cobra are in the car driving through Northern California, and she's kind of like asking him about why he polices the way that he does. And his whole speech is basically like, the judges have tied our hands and we can't do anything. And the animals have taken over. And he keeps just going like, blame it on the judge. Blame it on the judge.
Yeah, he's like, there's no point following, the laws of justice because the judges will just turn these people away back on the streets.
And Andrew Robinson character, Detective Monty, he's at war with Cobra the entire time because he follows protocol and Cobra doesn't. And then the movie culminates in Cobra punching him in the face at the very end of the movie, being like, It's my way. My way works. You're full of shit. Get out of here.
Yeah.
What did you ultimately think about this movie?
Fucking rocks.
Yeah, it fucking rocks.
Yeah, it's so entertaining. Despite just being such a clown on one hand, like Stallone is so watchable and cool. It's everything wrong with everything, and it rocks.
And it rocks at the same time. I will say that for a guy who has been in countless action movies, Stallone has a terrible run. He looks really bad when he runs on screen. And I've never believed him, like his gunplay in movies is not believable to me.
So what is it? If he can't run and he can't shoot, what is it?
I don't know. I mean, in Rocky, he didn't have to shoot. He was a boxer and he got to beat people up that way. And like, I guess when he's chasing a chicken in Rocky, you're like, okay, that's fine. And he looks good running in Rocky, but there's a weird thing where he starts to do in the mid 80s where every time you see him, his chest is puffed up and out. And so then he has to like run in that way. And it looks just so silly.
Forced.
Yeah, very much so.
The poster for this movie is amazing.
One of the most iconic posters of all time.
He's got this gun in this movie, this insane machine gun that has a laser sight on the top of it that's like bigger than the gun. And it's a really weird looking machine gun, but it works. Looks great on the poster.
One of the coolest parts of the final shootout is when he like leaves a grenade in the factory. And a couple henchmen are walking by where the grenade is, and then you just see the laser pointer hit the grenade, and then he shoots it, and they all explode. Oh, also, we didn't even say this, but he kills the final night slasher, the ultimate night slasher, the I want your eyes, pig night slasher, by like hitting him with a chain and then throwing him onto a massive hook.
Yep.
That then drags him into an area of this factory that is just spitting flames horizontally and burns his entire carcass.
Pretty good. I just read, Sam, that the car that we're talking about is a custom 1950 Mercury that was actually Stallone's car.
Yeah, I read that too. And apparently they had to build 3 other bodies of it to be able to damage, because there is a chase scene. There's a car chase scene in this movie that puts Hollywood Homicide to fucking shame, dude. The car chase in this movie is crazy. It's Ingrid and Cobra in the car trying to get away from LA and this group of psychos. But halfway through the chase, Cobra ends up trying to chase the psychos with Ingrid still in the car. The only person who needs to live through this entire movie is Ingrid. And he's like, fuck it, we gotta get him. Okay, I've also heard another rumor about this movie The rumor is Nicholas Winding Refn is a huge fan of this movie.
I could see that.
And that's why Ryan Gosling has a toothpick in his mouth for like all of Drive.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, come on, dude. What do you think of this Arrow release?
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Like, this was a blast, man. Like, the 4K looks awesome. There's a bunch of special features on it. Who does the commentary?
There is one with the director from 2001.
Oh, cool.
And there are 2 new commentaries with one has 2 film scholars on it and one has 2 film critics on it.
Okay.
Who have both written extensively about 80s machismo action movies and the ilk.
Yeah, the visual essays I listened to are awesome.
Yes, I liked the one that I listened to a lot.
The trailers are great.
Ooh, I haven't watched any of them.
You should. There's a really fun teaser, too.
Great. There's a fold-out poster, slip sleeve, reversible artwork. It's pretty loaded, honestly, especially for a non-big box version of a Arrow.
Yep.
You know what I just looked up? Director George P. Cosmatos also directed Leviathan, which is a Peter Weller movie that just came out on Kino 4K, and Of Unknown Origin, which is another Peter Weller movie that I have a Blu-ray of from Shout Factory.
Oh, cool. Did you watch Leviathan?
I've seen it before, but I've not watched my current copy of it.
Is it awesome?
From what I remember, hell yeah, dude. It's not shipping with a slip anymore, though.
Ugh.
I mean, again, for as kind of backwards and terribly politicked as this movie is, it's a really fun time. If you like ridiculous, over-the-top 80s action movies, it's definitely worth seeing. Stallone, I said this earlier, but Stallone speaks in one-liners in this entire movie. There's a scene in which somebody's like, one of his cop leaders is like, "You got an attitude problem, Cobretti," and Stallone goes, "Yeah, but it's just a little bit."
Did you know that, according to one of the visual essays that I watched, they theorized that his first name being Marion, which they sort of joke about in the film itself, they think it's because, do you know who else had that first name, Sam, in real life?
I do not.
John Wayne.
Interesting.
Apparently Marion is John Wayne's real name.
Damn, I hate John Wayne so much, but I would gladly change my name to Marion Cobretti in a fucking heartbeat.
We can start calling you that on the show.
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay, Sam, before we go, it's time to put wishes out into the physical media universe for titles on formats that do not yet exist. Are you ready?
Very much so.
I wish for an Arrow Big Box 4K of 1995's Judge Dredd, starring Sylvester Stallone.
I wish for an Arrow Big Box of 1989's Tango and Cash, starring Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell. Have we both wished for these movies before?
I feel like you've wished for that.
I think somebody's wished for Judge Dredd, too.
Where's Kim?
Oh, man.
Judge Dredd is, equally problematic propaganda about a cop in the future who is judge, jury, and executioner, played by Sylvester Stallone. There's an amazing remake, obviously, of this.
That is actually true to the comic.
Yeah, starring, what's his name?
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban. Fantastic. But I remember this Stallone, Rob Schneider joint from when I was a kid. I'm sure it's very bad, but sign me right up to revisit this on 4K.
Yeah. Buying in a heartbeat. It's actively terrible. Buying in a heartbeat. Have you seen Tango and Cash?
I have not.
Oh, man. Tango and Cash. Stallone is like a straight-laced cop. Kurt Russell's kind of a hardhead cop who are both after the same
Night Slasher,
like corporate criminal.
Okay.
And he frames them. So Tango and Cash end up in jail together and they have to break out together and put this dude behind bars.
Damn.
It's awesome.
Who's most likely?
I feel like Kino or Arrow. I would have never really guessed Arrow for Cobra, but
Sometimes miracles happen, Sam.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
That's what I learned from the Green Mile. Okay, that is it for another episode of Physical Therapy, a movie podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you're enjoying the show, please tell your friends. For God's sakes, tell your friends. A huge thank you to Patrick Laban for our music. Thank you to Kimberly, who was not here, but was here in spirit.
Give us a like and follow on Instagram at PT Movie Pod. Please subscribe to the show And as Kurt said, tell your friends.
We will be back next week with a Adam Sandler double feature.
Yeah.
2 brand new Kinos, Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, with our dear friend Drew. We'll see you then.